So we've been talking a lot lately about one question that we've been hearing from wedding pros as we discuss their marketing plans. And they keep saying to us that they want more leads. How can you get me more leads? But what we want to discuss here today is maybe it's not the leads that we need to focus on first. There's some other components that we're finding are standing in the way of those leads turning into sales. So, Mark, what would you like to say about that?
We that pain point that so many wedding pros have, we ask them, we have all these conversations with them, and what is your number one challenge, your number one pain point? And that is usually, I need more leads. I need to get more leads, because thinking that those leads are going to turn into sales. And while that's obviously you need leads in order to get sales, you can't stress about not having too many if a few other things aren't right. And we're going to talk about that. But, I see these days, wedding shows have gone away for a while, and that lead source has dried up. And so people are scrambling. How am I going to get leads? Then they go online and they see some wedding business sales accelerator, grower, magic potion, and they waste money on that and usually don't have good results. So, but the fact is, wedding pros usually have lots of leads, and they have good leads, but they don't know it.
Yeah, what's happening is they have good leads because people aren't going to contact them unless they want what they're selling. So that's the first buying signal, that they've contacted you, so they're actively planning a wedding. It's very rare that someone is going to just call a DJ out of the blue and say, hey, I might get engaged and I'm interested.
Yeah, if they're looking for a photographer, then they need a photographer. They wouldn't be wasting their time. And the problem is, so there's all these leads out here. They become aware of you, and the problem is they bounce out before they ever get to you, and then you don't even know that you had that lead.
Yeah, it's that whole thing is, you know that you need leads to drop into the top of your sales funnel, right? And so people come to us and they're like, give us more leads. And we sit here in the consultation with them, and we start doing some exploration. We start looking at their customer journey. And what we find is, if we drop more people into their sales funnel, what they actually have is a sales colander. And what we mean by that is, there's a bunch of holes in their funnel, just like when you strain your spaghetti through a colander and all the water comes out. That's what's going on. There's holes all throughout the process that they wonder why they're not getting more results from these wedding websites, or from bridal shows, or from their lead magnets, and people start ghosting them, and things start drying up. Or even worse yet, the worst one that hurts the most is when you were told by another wedding professional that they were sending you Sally and her fiance to you, and you never hear from them. That's probably an indication that they dropped out of your sales funnel, which was actually a colander.
Yeah, so what happens? So they're looking for a photographer. They go to their referrals, they go to the wedding websites, and they go social media, wherever they go, and suddenly they have tons and tons of leads, tons and tons of prospective photographers to book. And so then they start like, what do we do? There's like 200 choices. And then they employ this tactic that is called subtractive shopping. We all do it. And what subtractive shopping is they feel that they need to look for reasons to cross you off the list so that they can make their buying experience easier. So they find you somewhere, and that's not where they stop. They don't find you on the wedding website typically and then instantly email you or pick up the phone and reach out to you. They do some stuff in between. These are kind of hurdles. They're steps between your marketing message and you. And you have these hurdles in the middle. And those hurdles are your website, your social media, your marketing materials, your reviews. And if there's just one weak link, if there's one hurdle that's a little bit higher than the other ones, then they have a reason to knock you off the list. It's just like any kind of competition. My daughter is a competitive gymnast, or she was. She's older now and has kids and whatnot, but she was a competitive gymnast. And in gymnastics, you have 4 skills: bars, balance beam, vault, and your floor routine. And you do all 4 skills at every gymnastics competition. Your score that determines whether or not you win or don't win the meet is the combined total of those 4 events. And you can do awesome in 3 events and bomb it on 1, and you're never going to win that way. We do it when we shop. When we do it, we shop for anything. Renee just got a new computer, finally got her over into the world of Macs. Yay, yay, yay. Mm-hmm. And she needed a docking station because for those of you that know the Mac, it's got the Thunderbolt adapters and there's only 4 of them. And if you want to plug in a bunch of other things like USBs and stuff, you need to get an adapter. So it's a docking station that you plug in 10 things to it. All right, that's seems like a really easy purchase. So you go on Amazon and there are 50 of them. Now, this is a relatively small purchase, $30, $50, $75 maybe. And you don't want to spend a lot of time making that buying decision and do all the research from the 50 different options that you have. So what do? You set up filters, filter by reviews, you filter by price, and then you narrow that down. Then you go start looking at them, and what you do is which ones have the best pictures that show like this is what I need, this is what I can do? Which ones have coherent writing in their description? Which ones have good reviews? And then it's pretty easy to knock off the ones that don't. We do this every day, and that's what the couples are doing when they're shopping.
They drop into the top of the funnel, and then they're looking at all these photographers or all these venues, and they're just process of elimination. And they can look for simple things like spelling errors, syntax errors in your writing. It's like, well, if I can't trust these guys to spell correctly, then I'm just going to throw it out. It's really that basic. And so when they go to your Facebook page or your social media page and they see you haven't been there in 8 months, they wonder if you're still in business. Write them off. They're just looking for reasons at the beginning until they get it down to the final few. And this is why everything has to be in order and no holes in the sales journey.
You don't want to give them a marketing meltdown. Some of them are meltdowns. Usually they're letdowns. So what the marketing letdown is they see you on a wedding website. All right. You impressed them there because you had one decent paragraph that you put together and some good images and it excited them. Or maybe they saw a Facebook ad, or maybe they saw your Google listing, something like that. Short and sweet. It's kind of hard to screw that up. So you did well there, and then they go further and then they start looking at your website, your social media, whatever, and they get this marketing letdown because the rest of your stuff doesn't live up to that excitement they felt when they first found you. And so these leads that you think you don't get, you might have gotten them. Let's go back to that funnel. You had somebody in your grasp. They found you. But then, you could have booked them. If they had just emailed me, if they had just called me, they would have booked me. But you don't get that shot because somewhere along the line, they fell out of your calendar. And that lead that you would have had just got out of your grasp. And so, take a look at that journey that people are following. It's pretty clear. There's not that many places to check you out. Maybe it's your Better Business Bureau listing or something that I have. Primarily, it's your reviews, it's your website, it's your social media and your marketing materials, perhaps. All those things have to be just as good as you are, because even if one of them is lacking, you're going to get crossed off the list, and they're never going to reach out, and then you didn't think you had that lead.
And then, so what happens is, how do you know when this is what's happening? And sometimes it's really hard to figure this out because this is your business. You don't have time to slow down. You don't have time to look at this stuff. It's really hard to try and figure it out. And sometimes you need another set of eyes. And if you don't have that already built into your cosmos of your business, your peer group, your friend group, you need to hire in some professionals to be able to help you and be that set of eyes that can help you see what's going on. Where is the holes in your funnel? What's going on that it's a colander, and how can it be fixed? There's two things that we can do to help you. If you haven't already done the free marketing checkup with Team Wedding Marketing, which is who we are, we can help you look at some things in that, and we can help fill up some holes in that. But that's only a half hour. We'll point out the low-hanging fruit, some adjustments, give you some actionable things you can do with your marketing strategy. Then we also have products and services that we can do for you. We have different things that we can do as far as coaching and consulting. We have a whole bunch of things. Mark?
Website checkups, we have social media checkups. That's the kind of things that we do. We have been in this business combined for 50 some years?
Yeah, 58 years or something like that.
Working with hundreds and hundreds of wedding pros. But a couple things back to what you can do. Yeah, if you are getting your monthly report from the wedding website that said, we sent you X number of leads, and you're like, well, they're inflating that because I don't get anywhere near. They probably did send you that many, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you got the email, or you got the call, or you got the message. Somewhere along the way they fell out. So we can take a look at where they're falling out, a different set of eyes. And we're not going to be beat up on you too much. It's a judgment-free zone. We're nice about it, at least at first. And we'll get your things fixed. Well, we often find we're fixing a lot of websites, and we're fixing a lot of social media. And we've got some really easy tips that you could do to fix your social media. So head over to teamweddingmarketing.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, start the process of the free marketing checkup, and we will schedule a 30-minute conversation with you, look at all your things, and help you patch up all the holes in this calendar.
And you know why we're nice about it is because we get it. We were wedding professionals, became wedding show producers, and we're in marketing. So now we're sharing everything that we have been through and done. So there's nobody that's going to be more patient or understanding what you're trying to juggle every day, trying to keep all the balls in the air and do your marketing. And if you didn't see the video on our homepage, teamweddingmarketing.com, there's a video there of Greg, who is a wedding cake baker, and he exemplifies what we know you're doing. All he wants to do is make cakes. But every day he has to do social media, he has to do marketing, he has to do his ads. We know the pain. We get you.
Greg's story is the story we hear over and over again. So head over to teamweddingmarketing.com, get your marketing checkup, and we will see you next time.